I took a long time before deciding to tell this story. Not because it is frightening, but because it is ordinary. And ordinary stories are often the most disturbing. At that time, I was 42 years old. I lived in a small town in western Pennsylvania. I worked as a shift supervisor at a warehouse. My job was to manage paperwork and outgoing shipments. Nothing heroic. My life was predictable. I woke up early, drove to work, returned home using the same road every day. In the evenings, I watched the news or sat on the porch with a cup of coffee. That day started like any other. I had no special plans. Just another workday. In the evening, one of the loading ramps broke down. We were delayed. Paperwork had to be finished. Time moved slowly. When I left the parking lot, it was already dark. The clock showed a little after 11. The air was cold and clean. The road ahead was almost empty. I was driving my usual highway. My headlights cut through the darkness. Everything around me felt quiet and familiar. After a few miles, I saw a road sign. Road work ahead. Detour. I felt annoyed. I was tired. I wanted to get home. I turned. At first, nothing seemed strange. The road was paved. Trees lined both sides. My navigation system still showed a route. A few minutes later, the signal disappeared. The screen went blank. I assumed it was temporary. I kept driving. Time felt different. It seemed like I had been driving longer than expected. There were no cars. No houses. I began to notice the absence of road signs. No street names. No directions. That was when I saw the bus stop. It stood slightly off the road. An old metal bench. A rusted sign without any schedule. A man was sitting on the bench. Alone. In the middle of the forest. I slowed down. Something about it felt wrong. He lifted his head. Our eyes met. I did not stop. I drove on. In the rearview mirror, I saw him slowly stand up. Then sit back down. I drove in silence. I even turned the radio off. A few minutes later, my phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number. Help me. I read it several times. I did not reply. A minute later, another message arrived. You just drove past me. My hands felt cold on the steering wheel. I sped up. The road began to twist. My headlights revealed trees and the edge of the pavement. I noticed my fuel level was lower than it should have been. That made me uneasy. Ahead, a car appeared. It was stopped at an angle. Hazard lights flashing. I slowed down. I saw the driver's door was open. No one was around. I stopped. It was the worst decision I made that night. My phone vibrated again. He is not alone. I started the engine immediately. Headlights appeared behind me. A car with no visible plates. It was close. I pressed the gas. The tires slipped on gravel. The road narrowed. The car behind me stayed close. It did not honk. It did not flash its lights. It just followed. I felt sweat running down my back. I had no idea where the road was leading. After a few minutes, the forest began to thin. Buildings appeared. Streetlights. A very small town. I saw a gas station. And a police car. I turned in and stopped hard. The car behind me did not follow. It slowly turned around and disappeared. I sat there for a long time. Breathing. A police officer approached and asked if I needed help. I told him everything. He listened carefully. He did not interrupt. Then he said this was not the first time he had heard such a story. People turning onto detours that were not officially marked. Seeing bus stops. Receiving messages. No one was ever found. No people. No cars. I drove home close to morning. The next day, I checked my phone. The messages were gone. The number did not exist. I returned to my normal life. But now I never take unknown turns. I never stop unless I must. And I watch the road a little more carefully. Because sometimes, all it takes is one turn. For a road to stay with you forever.